Hello and welcome. Today we are going to be taking a look at 5 different pieces of lost media that haven't quite made the light of day in 2025. Now, these haven't been talked about much recently, however, some of them have been talked about in the past. The goal was to make each of them a little different from the other as well. Just want to say, if you are new here, which you probably are, this is my second video. Hello and welcome. My name is Kaz. This YouTube channel is mostly intended to just be a place where I can talk about things that interest me. Right now I'm on a lost media kick, but that might not always be the case. I've considered talking about things like Club Penguin and other virtual worlds, different music, books, things of that nature. However, right now we are mostly talking about lost media, so without further ado, I'm going to get right on into it. The first piece of lost media we'll be talking about today is a short-lived BBC miniseries titled Anne of Green Gable, relating to the books Anne of Green Gable. So just to give you a little bit more background, in 1907, Lucy Montgomery released a child's novel titled Anne of Green Gable. The novel stars the orphaned 11-year-old girl named Anne, who was sent to live with Marilla and Matthew Cuthbert by mistake when they tried to adopt a little boy. The series has 8 books in total, describing Anne and her life growing up with the Cuthberts. Out of these many interpretations of Anne, one in particular caught viewers' view a little bit faster than the others. In 1972, BBC released a miniseries adaptation of the book. This adaptation was directed by Joan Croft and starred Kim Braden as Anne, Barbara Hamilton as Marilla, and Elliot Sullivan as Matthew. It consisted of 5 different episodes, running every Sunday from February 20th through March 19th. Those who watched the series fell in love with Kim and the show's interpretation of Anne, noting the seriousness of the drama rather than the romanticization of the story that other adaptations had taken on at the time. There is also a sequel to this miniseries that can be watched today. Airing in 1997, it also stars Kim as Anne and is titled Anne of Avonlea, which focuses on book 2 and 3 of the series. Though the search was ongoing to begin with, it has since fallen into obscurity due to the age of the airings. In 1970, most shows, including early Doctor Who episodes, were purged from the BBC network and have since been lost. At this time, the only known pieces of this show are 9 images that exist on the IMDb page. The only hope of finding this version of Anne of Green Gable will be through possible recordings or collector's tapes. Though DVD versions have been speculated to exist, no one with a copy has stepped forward. This next one is a bit different. While it's not as obscure in the lost media community itself, a lot of people discuss it as if it was a myth, and those outside of the community may have not heard of it because of that. In 2001, Nick Jr. unveiled a small cartoon show titled Ozwald, which ran from its airing on August 20th, 2001, with its debut episode titled Chasing the Ice Cream Truck. 8 months later, MTV showcasted their new show, The Osbournes, airing its first episode on March 5th, 2002, known as There Goes the Neighborhood. Now, if you've never heard of this piece of lost media, you're probably asking yourself, what do these 2 shows have in common? And that is what a lot of people ask when several Redditors began to chime in with their memories of a commercial airing on their TVs in 2002. Most users recall an episode of Ozwald being dubbed over by the Osbournes, with Ozzy being Oswald and Sharon being Weenie, Oswald's furry companion. Some even recall Sharon cussing and it being bleeped on the commercials. While many people on Reddit recall this commercial, it wasn't until several lost media YouTubers became interested in the search. Notably, Seeker of the Lost and El Supersonic Q began by reaching out to the Ozwald creator. They soon learned that the commercial was real, but that no one had a copy. The only thing that the creator could remember is that it aired during a special event. The Lost Medium forum searched and deducted that it was most likely aired at least once on July 7th, 2002, during a live showing of an Usher concert on Teen Nick. There have been several rumors that the commercial aired during an episode of Keenan and Kel titled Da Bomb, airing on the same day as the Usher concert. At this moment, no one connected has come forward with a copy. The most probable way of finding it is old recordings of Nick in July of 2002, most specifically the Usher concert with commercials or other various recordings on the 7th. In 2014, a new supernatural horror movie came to theaters. This movie revolved around the internet, mostly taking place inside of a computer screen. The movie was titled Unfriended, and it earned a 62% on Rotten Tomatoes. For those who haven't seen it, I'll describe a short synopsis. The movie begins in 2012 with a high school student named Laura. She ends her life due to a video of her falling unconscious and embarrassing herself starts circulating on the internet. A year later, a group of friends is Skyping when an unknown account joins. They try to get rid of it, but nothing works. They find out the account says it belongs to Laura. Due to the impossible nature, they think it's a prank, so they invite the person they suspect doing it. Soon the person starts to see posts about herself being posted from the group of friends. She takes this as harassment and hangs up. She then comes back after a while just to end her life on camera. Lauren decides to make the group play a game of Never Have I Ever, slowly revealing different sins the group has committed to each other. As they play, they begin to end their own life. One character at the end, Jess, ends herself with a curling iron. At the end, Lauren's best friend is the only one left, revealing that she sent the video and posted it online. Laura's spirit comes in and ends her life. Now that you know a little bit more about the movie, let's move on to the lost media. Truly, there isn't much information about this piece of lost media due to its unreleased nature. There are deleted scenes in the movie, most notably Jess's original passing scene. It shows Laura in her computer on her Facebook page, ending her life gruesomely in cartoon form. Screams along with a song can be heard in the background. In this case, the song has been unreleased and has yet to resurface online. Totaling under 20 seconds, the lyrics that we know go, "You can't stop me, you can't stop me. I'm going on a mission to change the world to my submission." The song was performed by Haley Steely and written by John Ernest and Chris Florals. Haley herself has been contacted, but no one has responded. At this time, the song is unlikely to appear on its own, and it'll most likely be released by Haley or the writers. This next one is a little different as it hasn't been found in its entirety, but it is setting at partially found as of now. If you grew up going to almost any Christian church, there's a good chance you'll remember watching various kids' productions, including things like VeggieTales, Mr. Rogers, amongst others. That's what one Lost Media Forum member, Darn Dolph, recalled when asking about an old VHS tape they watched as a kid in the same position. Sorry if I butchered your name. Though this tape wasn't religious, rather it was an educational tape revolving around showing kids how things were made. They recalled a How It's Made type show starring a puppet pelican dressed as a detective. He was muted bluish purple with Muppet-style eyes. He also had an adult sidekick, and they explained how different things were made, including but not limited to ice cream, cherry harvests, and roller coasters. Due to the quality of this production, the user was pretty positive that it wasn't a local show. After mentioning this on the forums, another member was able to find more information about the tapes. What they found revealed very little, yet extremely important information. A series of 2 VHS tapes were produced in 1995, titled How It's Done From Roller Coasters to Ice Cream, and How It's Done From Baseball Bats to Potato Chips. There was also a re-release under the title The Original How It's Done, Wacky Factory Fun Tours Educational, being released in 1999 with a more colorful rebranding. Shout out to Strekkoza on the Lost Media Wiki forums for that information. This was brought to my attention on the Lost Media Reddit by user Bluesmaker. He recalled watching it as a kid and brought up the forum post about it. From there, I did some digging, and while I found a few bits and pieces to begin with, it wasn't until I came across a tip of my tongue post referencing the re-release, under which the poster themselves found a YouTube video that shows episode 2 in its entirety. Thank you to the Mallard with Probes on Reddit for posting that tip of my tongue post and then finding the YouTube video. You'll be able to see little bits and pieces of it in the background here as well. It's important to know that the reason that this is partially lost is because the first one has not been uncovered as of yet. Other copies of this series have resurfaced online. However, there are a couple of listings for the VHS tapes in different places, including eBay and an unfamiliar VHS website. Both seem to have limited tapes and are quite pricey.
Stadium as the players begin to make their way to the field right now.
It's going to be a great game as the pitcher sizes up each and every batter.
I'll tell you, Doug, these guys are good. The best. They come from a long line of great hitters.
As you know, Woody, they're still youngsters, and before they go any further, they really need to be well-rounded. Before they can really get in the swing of things.
The last one we're going to talk about here today is a little different as well. The biggest difference between this one is just how surprising it is that it's lost currently. MTV had lots of failed TV shows in the early 2000s, but I'd be hard-pressed to call this show a failure. MTV's show titled Made aired on April 7th, 2003 for its first episode titled Cheerleading. The show took people, usually high schoolers, and matched them with professionals in their aspiring careers, and by the end of the show, they could say that the teen was made into their aspiring career, hence the name. Made ran until November 2nd, 2013, with 14 seasons and 10 years on air. You'd think that archives of the show would be circulating everywhere, however, that's just not the case. You can watch various different episodes online. While a lot of different sites show that they have specific seasons, the airings are usually out of order. Paramount has season 12, episode 1 through 8, plus episodes 12, 13, and 15 through 21, 14, episode 1 and 7, and that was the last episode of the show ever, actually, and season 13's episode 8, 9, 10, 13, and 16. Amazon Prime has the same episodes, as well as season 10's episode 1, 8, 9, 12, 19, and 24 through 27. Episodes can be found on YouTube. In early 2005, a Reddit user put a $400 bounty to find season 6, episode 11, which was recovered on YouTube. Other notable episodes include season 6, episode 6, 10, 12, and 16, seasons 11, episode 71. You can also find the Made special airing at the end of season 9, where 3 teens named Abby, Eddie, and Christine went on to be made into hip-hop dancers. 3 teens were competing to win $10,000, and in this episode, one of the judges for the competition was Soulja Boy. However, other episodes are more rare. For example, Reddit user Rhythmatic hasn't been able to find season 9, episode 10 that their dad was on. Though remnants can be found on TikTok, there hasn't been any further updates on if they were able to obtain a copy. Somebody did mention possibly being able to get in contact with the original TikTok user, but nothing has come of it as of yet.
In her own mind. But when it comes to actually getting on the stage, she's totally terrified. Now she wants to shake her shy ways and face her fear of the spotlight by being made into a beatboxer. MTV will hook her up with a badass beatbox coach.
The wiki will lead you to believe that every episode is watchable. However, due to the Wayback's inability to use Flash, most of the episodes will not populate. I have given it a try with a Flash emulator as well, to no luck. Due to that, I was kind of hesitant to mention this at first because I can't find solid proof. However, the Made wiki says that season 9, episode 13, revolves around Diane, who wants to go on a dream date. This episode is said to have Stephenie Meyers, the author of the Twilight series. I am inclined to believe this because this episode was aired in 2008, and the first movie began rising in popularity right around that time. The best and worst part about this entry is the same. There are so many episodes, so many of them have the ability to be found. Personally, I'd really like to see the Stephenie Meyers episode. But even though this sounds like a positive, Since there are so many, it's a doubt that this will ever be found in its entirety unless someone can get the Wayback Machine to work or MTV releases it themselves. And we've reached the end. Thank you so much for sitting through this video and giving what I have to say a listen. Even though this is my second video, I'm very excited to continue and keep on with what we're doing here. If you feel like liking and subscribing, I'd really appreciate that. If not, no hard feelings, and I hope you have a wonderful day.